What's up, guys? Scarm here. With another video. Uh, I kind of want to diversify my content. I'm always going to be doing basically market watches. I mean, this is going to be a video about totally something a little different about. Well, it is still Pokemon investing in this Pokemon investing space. Um, I saw this picture on Reddit, the Pokemon Investing Reddit, and it caught my eye. I saw the comments. People kind of bashing this person, about his sealed collection. It's Pokemon Investing, so I'm assuming. I mean, we're gonna all assume that he is investing this. It's a long-term hold. Yes, I feel like he has a lot of great stuff here. It's all older stuff, so yeah. I mean, he probably bought this all at MSRP. I'm assuming. What we got here? I think he took separate pictures. So you got some Silver Tempest, Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, obviously Evolving Skies back here, Chilling Rain, Fusion Strike, half booster boxes, and these are UK cases because those are the UK sealed. Evolving Skies blisters, Fusion Strike blisters, a lot of good stuff. So I saw this and I wanted to make a topic on this video, talking about how I see a lot of people bashing this person or just people in general who do this. Let's go back to the actual picture. What the heck is all these pictures, bro? Okay, I think your issue here is having a lot of pictures, bro. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was how this hobby, this Pokemon investing hobby, is for everyone, guys. And I think one piece of advice that I want to give in this video is the piece I've given this advice to a couple of my friends now who are kind of jumping into this, or some people in real life. I want to find a comment that I saw that kind of like made me want to make this video. Here we go. This guy Jerem 5960, good luck selling every single blister. And then I don't know why he chose the hard mode on collecting seal. Takes more room, terrible to offload unless you sell bulk 75% market. So first of all, I think this is something I want to get off my chest when it comes to investing in Pokemon. Yes, I personally want to invest in, if it's a core set, in booster boxes, and if it's a specialty set, then obviously the ETBs, because specialty sets don't have booster boxes. That's just my preference. That's my preference. And obviously, I have a bunch of other stuff right here, like booster bundles, tints, UPCs, things like that, which again, I feel are also fine to collect. But clearly, this person has a lot more blisters over, booster boxes. But here's two things that I feel like people fail to understand, like that person who left the comment, is one, not everyone has the same not everyone is in the same financial boat as you are. Some people have more money than you, some people have less money than you. That's just kind of how life works. So maybe this person wanted to invest into Pokemon, but at the time when he started, his funds weren't that great. Like, maybe he just like, oh, I want to invest into Pokemon, but all I can afford is these Evolving Skies blister packs. I think Evolving Skies is going to be a great set in the future. Maybe I can afford these little 3-pack blisters of Crown Zenith. Maybe I can only afford these blisters, Clearly, he has very few booster boxes, 2 cases, and like a few booster boxes over here, and 2 Evolving Skies ETBs. Excuse me. But, again, not everyone has the same financial power as you, same money as you. Again, the blisters. So, maybe he wanted to invest in Pokemon, but he wanted to invest into Pokemon. I'm losing my train of thought here. He wanted to invest into Pokemon, but didn't have the means. Like, oh man, I can't afford an Evolving Skies booster boxes. Let's say he bought it at the time when Pokemon was easy to find. Evolving Skies was 100, 110. I can't afford $110. I can only afford a couple of these blisters. Like, what are like $3-4, maybe 5. But he's still putting his money into Pokemon, which I think in the long run is very good. Dude, this is worth a lot of money. Yeah, yes, it's not a bunch of Evolving Skies booster box, packs to equal booster box. This still worth a lot of money. I think one of these blisters was like $30-40 maybe. I haven't really checked recently, but people who are judging like, oh, this is terrible to offload, things like that. One piece of advice that I always give, and one thing, not even just advice, personally, I believe in the Pokemon hobby, two things. One, the Pokemon investing is for anyone. Um, the, you can invest in one blister like this guy did, or you can invest in the booster box. Depending on your money, you just can afford a couple blisters, and that's fine too. He bought these and they grew. Fusion Strike blisters, he bought these and they grew. Chilling Rain, they're growing. Yes, it's not a booster box, but it's still growing. It's not like he hasn't gained money or made money off this, on paper at least, because he hasn't, liquidized. But that I believe Pokemon investing is for anyone. If you don't have the means or the funds, like you can't just buy a booster box. Start with a booster bundle, an ETB, a couple blisters like this person. People who say like, oh, this is terrible to collect or to offload. They're ignorant. They're ignorant just because they think maybe this guy just likes blisters. He said my sealed collection. He didn't say my Pokemon investing. Yeah, it's in the Pokemon investing Reddit, but you never know. Maybe he just loves blisters. Maybe that's just what he wants to collect. But I'm just gonna assume that's what he's investing in. Oh, he actually has some Fusion Strike booster boxes here, like half ones. Anyway, maybe this is what he likes or likes to invest in. But the second part is, guys, and I'm talking for me, my personal opinion and how I believe and how I do my investment strategy. Okay, the way I do my investment strategy is I like to have, at least since I started in November, my philosophy for me. Again, maybe I'm dumb, but that's just the way I look at it. Right now, I am financially stable. I can buy, whatever I may need to buy, but I am financially stable. But maybe in the future, you never know. Like maybe, emergencies happen. I have no idea. And so, let me grab something here just to give an opinion. This and this. Okay. So we're gonna go to my, my full camera here. Sorry about that. Let me go. Okay. So, my Pokemon investment strategy, the way I believe is, again, right now I am financially stable, but I don't know what tomorrow brings. Something could terribly happen. Maybe my funds in my bank account get catastrophized and I need a couple bucks. A couple $100, a couple thousand. The way I strategize my investment into Pokemon, because again, here's the thing, guys. Obviously, I have investments in stocks and everything else. Pokemon is like a fun investment, but it's still an investment at the end of the day. But the one thing is, guys, you have to realize that Pokemon is not like stocks and stuff. You can't just sell on your app, boom, click and sell. No shipping fees, nothing. Like you have to sell. Maybe you sell that in person, but no matter what, you have to find a buyer. So let's say in the future, I'm short $1,000. And that's just happens to me. I'm short $1,000. Things go wrong. I am personally believe that I have personally believe that you should have some heavy hitters and some not so big hitters, because guys, let's be honest, yes, there's a lot of money in this Pokemon investing hobby, and again, though your life isn't gonna wait for you. You're not going to be like, life's not gonna be all right, guys. Life, we're gonna like you're gonna have an emergency during the Pokemon bull market, dude. So you can sell anything you want at market price and you're gonna be good. It's gonna be bought up like this. No, you might have an emergency during the bear market, so like it's gonna be harder to sell. So that's why I believe it's personally better to have some heavy hitters and some small hitters. So for example, I have a Paldea Evolved booster box here. I personally believe that in a few years, let's say I have an emergency in a few years, 5 years, this could be a $1,000 booster box. Let's just say, again, I'm not sure, I'm just saying. But I personally believe that between the two that I picked, this is the heavy hitter. This is the heavy hitter. And this is a smaller hitter. This is a Scarlet and Violet base set booster box, as you guys can see. So, let's say I have an emergency in the bear market, guys, and I need $1,000. Okay, let's not say 1,500, just so I can easily make this point, because it's just, obviously I could get more product, but I just need to do it off these two booster boxes. Let's say I need $500. What do you think is going to be easier to sell, guys, during the bear market? A $1,000 booster box of Paldea Evolved, or a $400 to $500 booster box of Scarlet and Violet base in whatever, let's say this was 1,000, this was 500 in the bear market. Of course, this was going to sell faster, guys. And this is my investment strategy. I prefer to have some heavy hitters and some small hitters, because you never know when something can happen in your life and you need to offload. Let's say you need $500 tomorrow. You have a better chance of selling this for $500 over this for $1,000 in the bear market. Obviously, again, during a bull market, it's gonna be easier to sell. But let's say it's during the bear market, which is a lot more often than the bull market. Like, you have a better chance. Like, I mean, I need $500 tomorrow. You have a better chance of putting this up and selling this on OfferUp, maybe eBay. Even then, like, you won't get your money fast on eBay. And then this for $1,000, which is personally what I believe for him. I think, I'm not saying he's using my investment strategy, but honestly, I personally believe this and I like this. He has a couple heavy hitters, and by a couple I mean quite a few. At least I think quite a few: Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, Silver Tempest. Half boxes of Fusion Strike, and then he has some blisters. What do you think it'd be easy for him to sell? A $2,000 Evolving Skies booster box, or 6 blister packs of Evolving Skies? Let's see, for $240, and he needs only $200. Of course, the blister packs, guys. Yes, obviously, booster box have a higher premium. It's a more wanted collector item, but again, that doesn't matter, because I think the whole point of Pokemon investing that people miss is that, yes, it is a money entry, and of course you're doing this for money. If you're an investor, you're doing it for money. The one thing that people seem to forget about Pokemon investing is that it's still a for fun investment, and I think you should only be doing Pokemon investing, first of all, if you're not in desperate need of money, because like, again, it is going to be harder to move in the future if it's not a bull market. So think about it like this: I would rather invest, and let's say I buy more Scarlet and Violet base. I would rather feel comfortable being like, oh man, you know what? I need $500, but actually it's not an emergency. I need it for a vacation, so I need I need $500 for my vacation. It's 5 months down the road. Let me put this on eBay. Let me list it on eBay, and between now and 5 months, it should sell. I'm not in desperate need or anything. That's the kind of mindset you should have with Pokemon investing. It should be, yes, money, but you should not put all your eggs into Pokemon. Personally, I believe. Yes, you can put a lot of money. Don't put all your money into the Pokemon investing market. And I personally believe, again, the way he invested, if it's an investment and not a collection, I honestly like it. He has some very big heavy hitters and some smaller hitters that, like, even then he has Evolving Skies blisters. Like, okay, like, it's not the booster box. He has one booster box, but maybe it's gonna be hard to sell a $2,000 booster box in the bear market. During the bear market, maybe you can sell a couple blisters, make a couple $100, and that's the way I think about Pokemon investing. I much rather have Pokemon as a, like, oh, I have some extra money here. Let me put it up. I need $500 for my vacation in 5 months. So let me just put this on eBay. Between 1 and 5 months, it's just sell and I'll be fine. As opposed to, like, putting all your eggs in this basket, like, oh, actually, dang, I actually need to pay my bills, like, next month. So I gotta sell this. There's $1,000 booster box with Paldea Evolved. Let me put it on eBay, and it better sell within a week or two. In the bear market, like, that's gonna be hard, guys. You guys should always take into account your Pokemon investments. Don't even worry about the bull market, guys. When you invest in Pokemon, do not worry about the bull market. Worry about the bear market, because that's when, again, Pokemon investing should be going over time, should be going up over time, not in this bull market how everything just shot up. It's over time growth, and that's how you should be looking at it, because this is not normal. This should not be a $200 booster box, but it is. And in the future, when it ages 4 or 5 more years, I agree, it's $500 booster box. But again, Pokemon investing for you should be extra money and not where you put all your money at, all your eggs in the basket. Personally, it should be money that you have sparing around, and you just in the future you just want a vacation, sell this Scarlet and Violet base $500, call it a day. That's my advice to you. Leave me your comments how you do Pokemon investing. Let me know. I forgot to mention, leave a like, comment, subscribe for a chance to win a Destined Rivals art set of sleeve blisters. I'll be picking another winner soon. And again, just leave a comment telling me what you believe in my philosophy or how you invest. Personally, like I said, I think this is the best way, at least for me. Just knowing I have some extra money and I don't have to worry about making ends meet. Just okay, I want a couple $100. Let me just put this on eBay, and whenever it sells, it'll be fine for me. So I don't believe in the way they say this is terrible to offload. What does it matter if it's terrible to offload? Why would maybe he just unlike maybe you need the money right away, but maybe he doesn't need the money right away. Maybe he doesn't need to sell all these blisters at once. He sells 3 Evolving Skies blister packs and he's made $120. I believe they're around 40. Maybe that's all he needs. He just needs $100. So that's my personal belief. Let me know what you think. Catch you guys in the next one.